The Waikanae Estuary on the Kapiti coast, just north of Wellington, has been dying. Strangled by weeds and hemmed in by houses, the very life has been squeezed out of it. But all is not lost. There are a dedicated bunch of locals who are giving up their Saturday mornings and bringing in plants and trying to restore this place to its former glory.
June morning on the edge of the city. It's so damn hot and my neck is feeling gritty. I gotta find something to do. Cause if I don't pretty soon, I think I'll go lulu. Every day seems like the same old thing. Listen to the brothers talking about the damn Mac 10.
So Jeff, I hear that you're the man behind this vision here behind us. What is an estuary and what makes it so special?
Well, an estuary is where a river meets the sea. And you'll have lagoons sometimes, you'll have marshes. They're ephemeral places, they're changing all the time. One great value of this estuary, we're standing on the edge of a scientific reserve. Behind us is a marine reserve. Behind that is Kapiti Island Sanctuary.
What did you have to do to try and breathe this life back into this estuary?
In the 1970s, Charles Fleming, he was responsible for having a scientific reserve created here as a result of thousands of wading birds that will sometimes be in this estuary. But behind it was this land going through to woody weeds, boxthorn and buckthorn and that sort of stuff. But what we've tried to find is plants that belong to this site, the sort of plants that would have got here if there'd still been a forest here and not houses.
So you've almost had to tell a story of what was here and what could be here in the future.
And then reconstruct it.
You've got a map here of just how big an area.
Well, we're just about here. So the estuary goes right up the river here, in between Waikanae and Paraparumu. There's new housing is filling in here, and the estuary winds out to the sea at the moment, through there sometimes and through here sometimes.
Deb, why is this estuary important to you?
It's a really hugely important place for the seabirds, and I've got a particular interest in the plant life. And without the plant life, the seabirds, the insects, everything that relies on those plants being there, alter. And also, there's been a lot of development on this coast, and it's really altered this area, and it's a way of giving back.
And these guys have given back in a huge way. Deb was telling me earlier that by the end of this year they will have put 6,500 plants in this year alone. Who gets involved in a project like this?
We're very well supported by the community. People are here for all sorts of reasons, for interested in plants or social side of it. It's really good. It's brought the community together. We're also supported by other local groups that are doing a similar thing elsewhere. They're wonderful. And the Department of Conservation, Regional Council and the Kapiti District Council have been invaluable.
It's probably fair enough if we give them a hand, so should we go?
Good idea.
Get into it. Estuaries are some of the most productive places in the world. They act as a nursery for baby fish and they provide a habitat for a huge range of native wildlife. And in addition to that, they also filter the water. So they really are a crucial part of our environment, and who knows, you might have one right next door. So why don't you get out and meet your locals?
Telling your child I got a major dose of funk. I'm sick with the flavor of the thick chocolate stuff, but a pessimistic attitude can get in the way. So when the night comes, all you wanna do is play. So